Well, hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We are back in the Sierra. We are back on the east side. This time we're in Hoover Wilderness, which is just north of the Tioga Pass, north of Lee Vining, out of Bridgeport. We're hiking out of the Robinson Trailhead out of Twin Lakes. Plan is to do a loop trip to Peeler Lake, a couple other lakes, Tilden Lake, and back. It's going to be about 5 or 6 days. Once we get past Peeler Lake, we'll be in what's called northern Yosemite, and like I said, it's going to be fantastic. Glad to have you with us. Like I always say, let's roll. Leaving Hoover Wilderness. Say goodbye to Hoover Wilderness. Entering Yosemite. Here we go, kids. Northern Yosemite. And back in Hoover Wilderness. Well, seasoned hikers out here with all the mosquitoes, and all the other people are hiding in their tents. And I get it, believe me, I get it. But yeah, first day of the trip was a good day. We did, I don't know, everybody's watches are a little bit different, but I think we did about 15 miles, 3,500 feet of gain. I want to say 1,800 feet of loss, so we're up and down. And we had some excitement today. Somebody walked off the trail and we spent a little time trying to reconvene the group, but that all worked out well. Another Pinnacle Foods one. Chipotle beef burrito. I'd give it a 4 out of 5. A little bit spicy. Black beans are fully rehydrated. Can't tell you how many times I've had dinners where the black beans are still dry. Morning. It's the morning of day 2. We are on the top of Kirkland Pass. We've been hiking a little bit, put in a couple of miles to get up here. I think that's Bigelow Peak behind me. It's phenomenal. What a beautiful mountain. It's great to get out from underneath that valley. The mosquitoes down there were tough, really tough, and glad to be at altitude here. We're only about 10,000, and yeah, we're heading back down into another canyon and probably more mosquitoes. So anyway, hopefully this is going to be a great day. Looking forward to it, and glad you're with us. Hey guys, we're at Harriet Lake. So I think it's about, I don't know, 10 or 11 miles. Stopped here for lunch. Beautiful day. Wasn't a beautiful walk, not for me. So I fell 3 times. First time I tweaked my back. Second time I twisted my ankle, and the third time I smashed my toe. This was the day of the well-seasoned hiker. Let's just say going downhill is not my forte. Let's see what's in the bear canister tonight. Ooh, one of my favorites. Chicken Alfredo pasta. This is one of the best. Peak refuel chicken Alfredo pasta. And only 3/4 of a cup of boiling water. 3/4 of a cup.
What I did, this is my first time taking this panel out.
Hey kids, it's time. Bet you wish you were here. Look at that. That's a winner. That's a 5 out of 5. Morning, everybody. It's the morning of day 3. We are waking up to a beautiful morning here at Dorothea Lake in Yosemite. A lot of mosquitoes, a little bit of rain last night, but it was good overall. Today we're going to hike down the canyon towards Wilma Lake, and then I think over a couple of bumps into another canyon. So it should be a lot of fun. Let's get going. Hey gang, recap on day 3. We did about 17.5 miles, 2,300 feet of gain, 3,700 feet of descent, and well-seasoned hiker is feeling it. We also have some rain coming in. So trying to get dinner in before it really comes down. It's already starting to spit. Oh, beef stroganoff, peak refuel. I used to not like peak refuel beef stroganoff. I'm converted. This is delicious. 5 out of 5. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to day 4 of this Hoover Wilderness loop trip. Easy for me to say. This was originally planned as a 6-day loop. We are turning it into a 4-day loop. We've been cranking out the miles, partially dictated by the mosquitoes, to be honest, but we're cranking through it, and today we've got about 16 miles to the car, and so we're going to head out. It's been beautiful. We have had, our issues, but we're getting out. I'll report on those here a little bit, maybe at the end of the video. Yours truly woke up a little bit worse for wear this morning. I've been sleeping on the ground, basically. My Nemo tensor insulated sprung a leak on the first night. And so the last 3 nights I've been dealing with not a lot of sleep. And so the sleep deprivation is hitting me today and kind of dragging along, but we'll get out. So like I always say, glad you're with us. Let's see what day 4 has to bring. Well, hey gang, we are back at Peeler Lake. That completes the loop of this Hoover Wilderness Northern Yosemite trip. It was beautiful in some spots, but not without some exceptions, which I'll get into here a little bit at the end of the video. But for now, the loop is complete. Hey gang, I hope you enjoyed that video. I certainly had a great time putting it together. I am now back at home, and as I mentioned during the video, I wanted to take a couple of minutes talking about my trip, my first trip into the Hoover Wilderness. I do spend a lot of time in the Sierras. Most of my time in the Sierras is spent in the higher country south of Tioga Pass. I did do a backpack earlier this season north of Tioga Pass. That was the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne, and you can see that video right here. But this trip was my first trip into the Hoover Wilderness. And so this is unusual for me to take a minute or two at the end of a video to talk about a trip, but I just really felt this one deserved it. Now, broadly speaking, let me just say that unfortunately Hoover Wilderness wasn't one of my favorite areas. I'll just come right out and say it. It's beautiful. The video obviously did it justice, hopefully, but as you'll notice in that video, or in this video, there's a lot of meadow, and we're in late July, and lower elevations, lots of moisture, late July in the Sierras, and you have mosquitoes. We had a lot. Once you get over Buckeye Pass and down into Buckeye Creek, the mosquitoes down there were intense. We got a little bit of a break going over Kirkwood Pass, and then again from the Kirkwood Pass to where we connect with the PCT, once again lots of mosquitoes. A little bit of a break from Harriet Lake to Dorothy Lake, and then south of Dorothy Lake to Wilmer Lake, very, very heavy bug pressure. So you're going to want to keep that in mind if you're considering doing this particular loop trip. The second thing to consider on this one is the trail between Buckeye Pass, which is about 10 miles in, just a little bit past Peeler Lake, to where the trail connects with the PCT. That's probably about 15 miles or so, is not well maintained. So you'll be doing a lot of trail finding, which means you'll be spending more time, and you'll be probably walking a little bit more distance. So you want to keep that in mind. You'll want to also, if you're traveling with others, keep the group together, because it will be easy to lose your way in that part of the trail. So those are two, I think, key things to keep in mind. Now, obviously, as I mentioned towards the end of my video, I had a pad leak. My sleeping pad, my Nemo tensor insulated pad, had a leak on the first night. And so I had 3 nights of, I'd say, low quality sleep, and it really caught up to me the last day. And so that was something that probably had an impact on how I felt overall about this particular trip. But I'll be honest with you, the scenery from about Buckeye Pass to Harriet Lake was not typical top-notch Sierra scenery. Now, you'll see some really, I think, what I feel are really great pictures of this particular area, but there's quite a bit of this particular trail that I did not bother recording. And also the area from about Wilmer Lake to Rancheria Creek is another area that was probably not typical, 10 out of 10 Sierra standards. That said, Dorothy Lake, Harriet Lake, Carrick Meadows, the Carrick Meadow Trail from about Rancheria up to where the turnoff to Peeler Lake is just phenomenal. Very, very beautiful. And frankly, quite easy hiking. So there you go. That's my thoughts. Hoover Wilderness was nice. It's probably not an area that I personally will return to unless I'm going through it. But I wanted to just take a moment to share that with you in case you're planning your own trip and considering doing this particular loop to the Hoover Wilderness and Northern Yosemite. So with that in mind, again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and best of hiking to you.